All right, everyone, get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into a career path that you might not think too much about every day.
That's right. We're talking about Footwear Factory Warehouse Operators.
Yeah, Footwear Factory Warehouse Operators.
And you know what? Most people probably don't realize how much goes into getting those shoes that we wear every day, onto our feet.
I know I didn't. And we have a ton of resources that listeners send in on this topic. Career guides, interview prep, even some articles from people who've been in the industry.
Yeah, it's a fascinating world.
It is.
There's so much more to it than meets the eye.
So let's jump right in.
Okay, let's do it.
So we're covering the whole 9 yards here, right? From starting out as like a warehouse assistant all the way up to running the show as a warehouse manager.
You got it. And we'll see how technology is shaking things up along the way.
Which is really interesting to me because when I think warehouse, I think, cardboard boxes, forklifts.
Right, exactly. The old school image.
Yeah, but it's got to be way more dynamic than that.
It really is. Way more than just second shoe boxes.
Okay, so let's ditch those stereotypes and dig into what it really takes to be a footwear factory warehouse operator.
Sounds good.
So this career guide we have actually breaks down a typical day for a warehouse assistant.
Okay.
What does that look like? What are some of the tasks?
Well, you're basically the guardian of everything footwear related.
Okay.
Every shoelace, every buckle, every scrap of leather.
Well,
We're receiving it, classifying it, registering it, making sure it's all where it needs to be.
so organization has got to be key.
Absolutely crucial. One misplaced box could throw off the whole production line.
Bakes, high stakes.
Yeah, the guide actually calls it a logistical ballet.
Logistical ballet.
No,
I love that.
There's a real rhythm and flow to it, even at the entry level.
Okay, so you got to be efficient on your toes, detail-oriented.
Exactly, and that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Because on top of all that, you've got technology rapidly changing how warehouses operate.
That's right. We can't forget about the tech.
The guide mentions automation inventory management systems.
So it's not just about knowing where things are physically anymore. You've got to be comfortable with these systems analyzing data.
It's true. You're almost like a detective,
A detective.
tracking the movement of thousands of components.
And as you move up to like warehouse coordinator or supervisor, those analytical skills probably become even more important.
Absolutely. Imagine using data to predict bottlenecks in the production line, or even optimizing the entire layout of the warehouse.
Wow, so we're talking efficiency on a whole other level.
Exactly. It's a whole new ball game.
So technology is really changing the game here. But it also sounds like it opens up opportunities to specialize.
Oh, absolutely.
Really kind of carve out a niche for
Yeah,
yourself.
I've got it. The guide actually had a whole section on specialized skills. And it wasn't just, moving boxes or operating a forklift.
Okay, so what were we talking about?
Well, there were things like determine footwear warehouse layout
Okay.
and even perform packing of footwear and leather goods.
Whoa, hold on, packing footwear. That's a
But
skill.
it really is. There's an art to it, believe it or not.
Sir.
Different types of shoes need to be handled and packed in specific ways. You can't pack a pair of leather boots the same way you'd pack running shoes.
Right.
Right.
If you mess that up, you're going to have some unhappy customers.
Exactly. Damaged goods, nobody wants that.
So someone who likes problem solving, figuring out the puzzle of logistics, that kind of person could really excel here.
Absolutely. And that kind of specialization can really pay off as you move up the ladder.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The guide even mentioned that experience in a footwear factory warehouse could lead to roles like footwear quality manager
Wow.
or even a position in product development.
No kidding. So you could go from managing the flow of materials to actually influencing how footwear is designed.
Exactly. You're immersed in that world, understanding the materials, the process, the challenges.
You're seeing it all firsthand.
That's right.
This is why I love these deep dives. You start with one idea of a career path, and it just kind of explodes with possibilities.
It's true. You never know where it might lead.
But let's say someone is listening. They're thinking, okay, footwear factory, warehouse operator, that's for me. What should they know going into the interview process? We talked about those interview prep materials.
Yes. And, it stood out to me, they really emphasize both hard skills and soft skills.
Okay, so it's not just about knowing the technical stuff.
Right. You need to show you can handle the warehouse procedures, the safety protocols, of course. But you also need to showcase your communication, teamwork, problem-solving skills.
Because even in a warehouse, you're part of a team.
Exactly. You're interacting with people all the time. Colleagues, supervisors, suppliers, delivery drivers.
So you got to be able to communicate effectively.
Exactly. And one question from the interview prep really stuck with me. Can you describe a time you had to resolve a conflict with a coworker?
Interesting.
It highlights how important those interpersonal skills are.
Yeah, it can't just be a robot.
No pun intended.
Right, exactly. Because even with all the automation, those human elements are still crucial.
Absolutely. And those soft skills become even more important as you move into leadership roles.
Okay, so like a warehouse manager.
Exactly. The guide described it as not just overseeing logistics, but also leading a team, managing budgets, collaborating with other departments.
It's a lot more than just managing boxes.
It really is. You're kind of like the conductor of an orchestra,
Okay, I like that.
making sure everyone's in sync and working together harmoniously.
Okay, so we've talked about needing to be organized, tech-savvy, a master of logistics. But what about automation?
Ah, yes, the elephant in the room.
Exactly. Robots are coming for all our jobs, right?
Well, not quite. It's more nuanced than that.
Okay, so it's not just going to be robots replacing humans overnight.
Not exactly.
So how do you see it playing out?
Well, think of it this way. In the future, footwear factory warehouse operators might be more like robot wranglers.
Robot wranglers, I like that.
Right, overseeing these automated systems that handle a lot of the heavy lifting, the repetitive tasks.
So freeing up human operators to focus on other things.
Exactly. Things like data analysis, process optimization, troubleshooting any issues that pop up.
So the role becomes even more specialized.
Exactly.
You need a deeper understanding of those systems, not just operating them, but really understanding the data they generate.
You've got it.
That-
And the guide even touched on another interesting aspect, sustainability.
Sustainability. In a footwear factory warehouse.
It's becoming more and more important.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, imagine footwear factory warehouse operators being tasked with reducing waste in the warehouse, minimizing energy consumption, even managing the life cycle of those robots in an environmentally responsible way.
So you're not just managing logistics, you're on the front lines of sustainability.
Exactly. You're in a position to make a real impact.
Wow, this has been eye-opening. I had no idea how much went into this career path and how much it's changed.
It's a dynamic field for sure.
It really is. Well, for our listeners who want to learn more, be sure to check out the show notes. We've got links to all the resources we talked about today.
And if this deep dive has piqued your interest in other career paths, in manufacturing or really any field, head over to the RoleCatcher website. We've got you covered.
There you go. Always something new to discover. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of footwear factory warehouse operators. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those questions coming.